$23.23 an hour is the minimum wage here in Australia. To put that into some kind of perspective, a single Big Mac meal here in Australia will cost you more than that. But it's what you would get paid if you're working full time, which is 38 hours a week. But if you're like me, you don't want to be part of the soul-crushing industry that is commercial work sitting in a cubicle like Neo out of the Matrix. You want to be out here with a gold pan, fueling your soul with, well, gold. Obviously there's some variables to this, but we're going to ignore them and just base it off me in my area. The start of this challenge was a little bit disastrous. I started on Reedy Creek and I didn't get that much gold. With 3 hours wasted, I've come to a spot that I know has really good gold, even if it is sporadic. I found this spot on Google Maps because of this massive bank. This bank has been eroded by the fast water every winter, and on Google Maps it's really obvious. The thing that got me intrigued is when I came here, I noticed that there are tailings from the dredge line that used to come up this creek. Therefore, everything behind me is dredge tailings, and the dredges are renowned for being not that efficient. And I thought if the fast water is concentrating this for the last 100 years or so, there's a good chance there'll be something left over. And there is. And I've used half an hour of my time to do some test panning. This is what I got for that half hour of test panning. That is a lot of gold. That's a pretty good day in anyone's books, let alone just test panning. For my area, I would call these little nuggets, especially this one. That is a big, chunky, fat flake. The really big chunky flake came out of just here. You can see this collapse that's happened in the bank with all the tailings coming down. I thought this is where we're going to get a concentrator, and lo and behold, nice big chunk, but not that great of a spec count. What's actually a lot better is the shallow bedrock behind me. Higher spec count, but finer gold. So I'm just going to try and strip as much of this as I can today. Well, let's not poke a hole in the loader, shall we? With the natural razor wire that is blackberries. These rocks are in the way. They must be removed. Professional rock digger I am. It's in my job description. Digger, mover, remover, repositioner. Professional rock repositioner. I mean, as my dad always said, the only problem with gold is that there's far too much dirt mixed with it. In theory, some of the best gold will be right where this slump meets the fast water. In theory. This entire pan is straight bedrock. There's very little gravel in it. And decaying bedrock like this is brilliant because it allows gold in and doesn't allow it out until a major flood comes through. So it tends to collect a lot of gold. But this creek is sporadic. You seem to hit really rich pockets and then you'll get nothing for a while. The black sand also is not an indicator on this creek of good gold. You can get a lot of black sand and no gold, and no black sand and a lot of gold. So that pan, we only really got 2 little flakes. Not a huge amount at all, but we did get a shotgun pellet. So heavy things are collecting there. I think it's going to highly depend on whether or not these dredge tailings have gold in them as to where they're concentrating it. Bam! And we're on head cam because it's just so much easier to film. 2 little flakes down there is absolutely not going to be enough. So I want to know, we got that really big flake up there. I just want to know if it's coming out of this bank. Like if I follow it up, because that big bit actually came out of the bedrock a fair way in, like almost a whole shovel head in is where I ended up pulling that bigger bit out. That is fracturing decayed bedrock, but it's so soft it digs like dirt. That's what's going to let our gold down and into it. That's where our good bits will be if they're here. It's been ages since I've been on a creek that gives like consistent chunky gold. I ended the 100 bucket challenge here because it was a way that I knew that if I could find a spot it'd go off with a bang, you know, and pull some really good gold. But it's the risk. You certainly don't get good gold all the time here. More often than not, you're just looking for nothing. I got a shotgun pellet. A white shotgun pellet too, which means it's absolutely been in the water for a long time. Fingers crossed, here we go, moment of truth. Shotgun pellet. It's there. And no, not very well. Better than the last pan though. Like we're talking about what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 decent sized bits with just like a little bit of flour gold in it. Keeping these cons because they're full of garnets and little bits of flour gold and stuff for my pay dirt bags. Shameless spruik to my website if you're interested in pay dirt. It's all up on the old moldy. I've got bags ranging from 23 bucks all the way to bags ranging to over $300. Heaps of pay dirt and merch to pick from. Yeah, that's right, we got a condom shirt now. I absolutely want to pull this bank apart just here, but one of my earlier test pans was from just up here. This is without a doubt dredge tailings, this stuff. That material there also connects up to a section over here. It's all been eroded and pushed over this bedrock. I pulled a brilliant pan out of just here. So this fractured bedrock, I think, has the potential to hold a lot more gold. I was kind of hoping that that would just light up straight away, but we'll get some motivation from this spot first. Well, hopefully we'll get some motivation from it. Be nothing worse than doing this and working everyone up online. Everyone's getting all hot and sweaty, ready for some like good gold, and there's like a shotgun pellet, half a garnet, and you know, Ted Bundy's nephew or something. Look at my puffy legs. Oh, big puffy legs. There is so much mica in this. I can see why they call it fool's gold, because I'm so used to going to Reedy Creek where you get these tiny little flakes at the back of your pan when you're panning down, and when you see that you're like, oh, I better stop, you know, slow down, re-stratify. In this spot you get the pieces of mica that look exactly like gold in the right light forming at the back edge of your pan here, and it's not gold, but you still end up slowing down, so you cost yourself time. And I'm trying to make $23 an hour. That's hard to do. That's hard to do with just a gold pan. Like, sure, I could use a sluice, but that's not part of the challenge. All right, I'm not seeing much gold though. Maybe I got it all. Please, please, please. Oh yeah, yep. That was better than the last pan for sure. There's about 20 in there. That is not too shabby at all. All right, this gold too is coarse. It's not like Reedy where it's really, really thin and flat. It's actually quite thick. Every piece you can kind of feel under your finger, which is great because that means that, you know, I'm getting 3 or 4 flakes of Reedy Creek gold per flake here. How's that for some creek maths? Who likes creek maths here? My creek maths is great. It's like we compare hamburgers to gold counts, or Ted Bundy to finding a good spot, because that's maths, right? Not geopolitics. Is that geopolitics? That's not geopolitics. The very next pan, and spec count is remaining pretty consistent, but I really want some of those bigger pieces. I know they're here, and I'm going to find them. I'm going to find you, and I will dig you. We know gold's coming up here. I'm probably shedding out of this. There's a low point just here. So my thought is that this edge is sheltering all of the dirt that's going through that area. And that's where our gold will be. Well, we'll find out, won't we? The best part about gold prospecting, you just don't know. Once you kick over a big bit, like I have today, gives you all the gold fever you need to be a successful hermit on the creek with a sore back and sore knees and sore hips. You won't be rich, or you might be rich. Depends on how big the bit is. Creek maths. There's a little bit more black sand in this than normal. Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh my god, yes! That's what we're talking about. That is what we're talking about. That is a great bit just there. Bloody brilliant. That is the kind of gold this creek can give us. Fantastic gold. Right there, because every piece is real coarse, is probably maybe 1/4 grams worth of gold. That's what we're going to hope for the rest of this challenge, because that's what's going to add our weight up. Every one of these bits you can pick up. You can pick up and roll around in your fingers just because they all have shape. You see, sometimes I know what I'm doing. Sometimes, not when it comes to talking English or actual maths, but gold prospecting, yeah. Thus far, all the pans have remained relatively consistent. We're talking about that 10 to 15 nice spec range. These are good size too. However, I haven't hit any of those bonanza pans again just yet. I might have a theory though. Where the really big erosion is way up high on the bank. So you can see like this section just here is one erosion channel that all funnels down into here. And then we've got gravel on the edge that's come from it. And if you come over here, we've got another one just here, and then it rises up, and then we've got another one that we're working on just here. Everywhere I've come down to the creek in line with one of those sections has good gold. So I got good gold just out of here. I got good gold out of just there. I would hypothesize I'll get good gold up there. And in here, this section seems to be channeling most of the good gold. So I got that really big flake up here, and as I work towards it, the spec count's remaining consistent. I would expect either the spec count is going to stay the same or go up in this section. So far, it's remaining exactly the same. I can't complain about it. I mean, we're still getting 10 to 15 good sized bits of gold. Sporadic, but great gold. And then it kind of dropped off around here, and then in the back section it got better. As I started climbing the slope again, it got worse, but now I'm up where I got that really big chunk, and I'm starting to see more consistent good gold. Look at that. The pieces are bigger. The pieces are way bigger. So I don't know if that just means that it is shedding out there, or the deeper ground has allowed for bigger gold to be caught, but I'm thinking it's coming from the tailings. It's gotta be coming from the tailings. That is bloody good gold. But we ain't got time for gold now, because we've got a ham and cheese sandwich to eat. There was a time where I come to the creek with no food and I just starve myself all day because, well, I'm an idiot, but now I bring food and it's delicious. And if you're not sure if you're subscribed, or you're only seeing like shorts content instead of long form content, check your subscription status. You might be unsubscribed. Lunch break's over and the shovel has to get back to work. I really want to keep going this way because I am fairly certain that if I keep going this way, I'm going to see good gold. Oh, I hate that. Get out of the way. The sun's behind some clouds and it is freezing cold winter at the moment. Luckily there's no wind and we did get a little bit of sun, so that's positive. The soil changed there. This feels like topsoil, so I don't know if we're going to get any gold because we didn't get any fractured bedrock in that. Doesn't look good. There's barely any black sand. The average. It is there, it's definitely there, but there's only probably just less than 10 little tiny flakes there, so we've got to go a bit deeper in that spot, I think. Let's get some of these bigger rocks out of the way. Alright. This dirt feels better. It just feels better. I don't know how to describe it. There's this continuity between the weight, the color, and how the dirt moves in your pan. Doesn't mean there's going to be gold in it, but it leans itself more towards that there will be gold or better gold than not. Come on. Oh yeah, better sized bits. Straight away, better sized bits. That's the difference. That's why I'm not finding as much gold in the line where it normally would be. If this creek or river was fast enough, these rocks would indicate where the flow was taking the gravel, and it's still doing that. But what I mean is that the rocks would be traveling from upstream through this area and then depositing here. These rocks were already here up in this bank. It's undercut everything and the bank slumped. And that means that the undercuts where the concentrator is, the surface stuff up here isn't any good. It's also why this stuff here has tumbled in, not being concentrated by the water. It's different, so all our gold's going to be up here. Very next pan out of the hard pack layer, and much the same result. nice, chunky, coarse pieces. I mean, every single one of these pieces, even though they're small little flaky bits, has enough shape for me to be able to pick up. The sun has, well, disappeared from this side of the creek, but the gold hasn't. The gold has remained real good. Occasionally we're getting some nice, coarse, big flakes in there. This spot above Reedy Creek is definitely going to help me towards my $23 an hour. I think it'd be hard to make $23 an hour in Reedy Creek. Possible, but hard. It has been a pretty hardcore 4 hours. I've moved a lot of dirt. I've only had to surface it, and this is the deepest section here, but still, it's a lot of physical effort. Now, the biggest pieces I've got today have come out of this hole, and just up there. So there's a line here. And I just want to make sure that the last couple pans of the day come from this spot, because I know that there's going to be good trace right through that. Get off, big rock. Spilled pay dirt into the creek, that's fine. And if there's going to be a big bit, it's going to follow that line. Oh, cannot wait to go home. It's been a day. It's been a good day, but it has been a day. I don't use a classifier on this creek because nuggets. It takes a little bit longer to do every pan, but that's okay, because there is a chance that we're going to kick something over big. I mean, we've pulled out a lot of gold today, so if I finally get skunked now, it won't be so bad, right? Oh no! Oh, I spoke too soon. Oh, that's probably the best spec count of the day for sure. That's mental. They're all pickers. It's with gold like that that makes me want to keep going. Well, we've gone from what I test panned in the morning to about 4 hours later, and this is what I managed to collect off this little bedrock bar. That is amazing. They're so chunky. Look at all those chunks. I've spent years making videos on gold prospecting, and more often than not, I don't show spots that have gold like this because my area just isn't known for it. There are creeks that do have it, just like this one. And I am super happy to be able to show you a day like that. That is like Dan Hurd-esque gold right there. Look at that. Look how big some of these pieces are. They are massive. For my region too, the gold, just generally speaking, isn't that big. Every single piece in this pan right now is coarse. There's almost no flour gold at all. These are just some of the garnets that I managed to recover. We've got red, pink, and probably all the other colors I can't see. And I really wish we could look at them under a microscope, but this is the best I can do with what I've got. All of these garnets and more I'm going to utilize for jewelry as well as putting in my pay dirt bags. And I think they look pretty damn cool. There's actually a couple of little crystally bits that I'd love to get some closer shots on. But for now, it's good to be able to show you some of that transparency that is in some of these larger bits. I'm in the middle of doing a whole bunch of projects, so here's the gold on top of some cons. Would you just look at that? We got some super chunky, coarse gold. Pieces like this in my area aren't overly common. It was great to be able to get a whole bunch of them. And not only that, even the fine, small pieces of gold on this creek have shape. They're chunky, they're coarse. They're the equivalent to many reedy flakes. In total, I added 4.5 hours to my overall time, which brings me up to about 8 hours worth of work. And we're gonna find out how much gold we actually got. The last time I did a weigh up from this creek, I got over 6 grams of gold. Now this isn't as rich as that spot, but I'm still thinking we've got 2. I'm gonna guess 2.1. Leave your guess in the comments below. That big bit's going on first. 0.13, that's a respectable flake. We got the gram. Oh, we are going to get way over 2. Way! There's your 2.2. We're not going to beat 6, but 3 and 3.31 grams of gold. Holy crap. It literally never ceases to amaze me just how much gold can come out of one spot. That is about 380 Australian dollars worth of gold. And that is going to go a long way to helping me make sure I earn at least $23 an hour for the next 30 hours.